It's my thrift store find. SANYO M-G34DT. Sweet little portable little cassette player. See how just funky, dirty it is. It's one of the reasons why these end up at the thrift store for as cheap as they do. Just look old and dirty, and to the average person they just look like a piece of crap. You know, just that gunk alone is like, yeah, you know, they're just like, put a few bucks on it. $5 is actually kind of high, I think, considering what you can see some of these Walkmans go for. I know it's not a Walkman, but one thing that I think is super cool about this SANYO, you could definitely tell that it's higher end because it's plays the metal tapes. It's got the chromium normal, so chromium and metal, it's the same. A left and right volume. A switch for tape and radio for the function. It's got Dolby, so you just can tell by all those features that it was a higher end Walkman in its day. But what really stands out of this is the tuner. This is the tuner. How freaking sick is that? Look, it has those little connections there, and it connects down there. Inside it's pretty clean. It's just what I always look for. I just always look to, when I look at them, I'm looking at the not the dirt, but it has been dropped on the corners, you know what I mean, or the buttons missing, and this one looks pretty good. But the fact that this is still here is pretty cool. So it doesn't play with a head, it plays from some of those connections there. See, so there's the tuning wheel. Cool. AM, FM. So, and it's the model MGR110. So I haven't tested it all yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and load it up with batteries and then go from there. As far as the products that I'm going to use today, actually one's missing, hold on. Okay, now they're all there. So this is pretty much what I'm going to use here today, minus some cotton. I'm going to get some Q-tips, so add some Q-tips there. We got some battery cleaner because inside of this battery compartment, which is really loose, so I'm glad they had taped it, there was a tiny bit of corrosion, so we're going to put some of that battery cleaner, and that's just the battery stuff that you get at the auto parts store for your car, but it works, same concept, it works really good. Deoxit for the volume, all the little switches, the volume, the Dolby, the function. So that's the volume, sorry, yeah. This is the tuning knob, I think. Yeah, the tuning knob. So we won't do that, but we'll do the volume, the chromium, the tape, and a Dolby. So that's what the deoxit's for, any little switches. And then we're gonna use inside this deoxit precision instrument oil. It's like a really light oil, so the gears and motors and stuff like that, I'll go ahead and put a little tiny bit with this. And then the tape mechanism that plays cassettes, all of that stuff that moves, you know, when you press play and it's all shifting up and down, I'll go ahead and put a tiny little bit of this electrical grease. Of course, the duster is self-explanatory. The alcohol, that's for the heads, and just the rest of most of the Walkman. Anywhere that it's gunked up and dirty, Of course, you want to use the highest isopropyl you can get, and then good old-fashioned Windex, and that's just for cleaning the outside and the gunk. I especially like Windex for that. And these little dollar store towels come in handy for that kind of stuff. So let's get into it. Okay, so the batteries are in, and we got no lights, no nothing. So when we open it up, we'll switch to tape, and we press play. No movement whatsoever. So that's not good. Hopefully it's the battery corrosion and it's just not making a good contact. So we'll kind of start there. This stuff squirts pretty good, so we'll just do just a tiny bit in its own lid. There you go. Just kind of put that in there. Okay, so that didn't work. So it's definitely cleaner now, but it did not solve the problem. So I'm wondering if because those are rechargeable batteries, if that might have something to do with it. So I'm going to try regular batteries. Okay, so I changed the batteries, and when I switch it over to radio, still no indicator lights at all. We switch it over to tape, and we press play. We got some movement. It looks like it's going a little fast. Rewind. Okay, fast forward. Alright. Not bad. I might not even have to do the belts on this. I might do them anyway. We'll see what's up with this tuner. Maybe the LEDs are just burned out. Okay, so I figured out what I was doing wrong. With a tuner, you have to press play in order for it to come on. See if you could hear this. Let's see, I'm gonna put the, I don't know where the microphone is. Anyway, trust me, it's coming in pretty clear actually. So, it's the next day, and I am finished. Here she is. Actually, there's still a little bit of cleaning I need to do, but you can see a pretty big difference from the original kind of cover. I did polish it, some plastic polish. Bottom's cleaner. Needs a little bit of cleaning on them buttons, you could tell under the light. I changed the belts, lubed up everything that needs to be lubed up. I deoxidated it, and yeah, it's running really good. Remember how loud that tape mechanism was before. Let's see. Gotta change it over to tape first. Listen to that. Purrs like a kitten. Quiet. Not too fast anymore either. I was able to adjust that tape speed. We'll go ahead and kind of demo it up. Let's see, we gotta put it on the tuner.
Inches of snow. Local business owners there. Okay.
Oh, it's on AM.
Save money. Now, I recommend Shane Company to everyone. Shop around. Then, to Shane Company. And calls the guy I
when you strut your pose, take off all your dressy clothes.
She just like picks up like all the channels, man.
And holes, hiding things inside them. When I grow old, I won't forget to find them.
Alright, now I'll go ahead and demo a tape for you. I know I didn't do this last night, but trust me, it was kind of sounding like a chipmunk. We're gonna put on some ghetto music here. Put on some Too Short. Okay, so we'll move it over the tape function and.
The kind of tape you'll always keep, so if you lose it, you're not my mama's son. It ain't free. Go and buy another one. Like a costume party on Halloween. MCs pop up on the scene. So you made a record. I saw your poster.
Okay, I don't want to get muted, so we'll just put that much. See, it's pretty loud still on that, but yeah. It's working really good. The fast forward, rewind, everything is running really smoothly. Just a little bit of cleaning and it's just looking good. And then also just something to know. The tape adjustment is there. Seems like it won't focus, but that little knob in there, that's the tape speed adjustment. It was going crazy fast, and when I got into it and opened it up and I was kind of moving it around, I realized that it looked like somebody had pushed too far in and pushed it close to those capacitors in there, and it was kind of just weighing out. I kind of, got it back to its normal position, and the sound just leveled out and got normal again. So if you're gonna need to adjust that tape speed, you want to make sure that you're being really careful. I used this Plast X from Harbor Freight, this plastic polish with a Dremel, and just really lightly just kind of went over this for a little while, and every little scratch shows up under this light, but it looks like, way better than it did. So I know this is a long video, but I hope you like checking out this SANYO M-34DT. Wait, M-G34DT. So, cool little radio, and yeah, nice little addition to my collection. Take care.